What's up, everyone? PB Alerts here. Today, we're going to be streaming AMC earnings and SNOW earnings. So AMC reports at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, and SNOW reports at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So let's go back to the candlesticks here. AMC kind of trying to pump a little bit into close here. Snowflake kind of did the opposite. But for AMC, they have a consensus EPS of negative 0.70, revenue 1.03 billion. So we'll see how that shakes out of the bag. For Snowflake, EPS 0.18, revenue 759.10 million. So they report at 4:05 p.m. So we'll see them first. So let's kind of go back to the candlesticks here on the 5-minute chart on both of these charts here. Probably going to zoom into the 3-minute and see if we get some volatility, maybe some flickering candles, that kind of thing. Snow up a little bit here, up about $2. Price kind of looks like it's a little stuck right now, but we'll see. They're going to be reporting here any minute. AMC, we got to wait till 4:15 p.m. Eastern for that one. Snowflake on YouTube says, I hope I do good. That's funny. Yeah, man. Good to see you. Hope you had a good day today. Me and you were chatting earlier. But yeah, let's root for Snowflake. We did have some people bullish on Snowflake. Had a couple other members that were bearish, and believe that most of it's going to be like lotto plays, right? Long term, I mean, AMC, I wouldn't hold that long term. Just pull up the bigger time frame charts, and it's kind of just fell off a cliff. And they've done a reverse split and conversions of ape shares and all kinds of stuff. So definitely just a lotto play on AMC if it was me. But Snow is actually a pretty good company. PE ratio is super positive. But as far as the net income is terrible on this company. Okay, negative net income on the annual basis, just trending down. Balance sheet, they do have a good looking debt to asset at only 29%. So that's not all as bad there with them, but it's $200 stock. So we'll see what happens. It's about 4:02 p.m. Eastern. So we got about another 3 minutes, and we'll start seeing some action on Snow. And for AMC, we had a couple members in the Discord buy some lotto puts on that earlier. I think some people went long on it too, so kind of a mixed bag there. We'll see what happens. Let's look at what AMC did in previous earnings here. So definitely kind of a mixed bag here on whether they beat EPS or not. The forecast EPS for the past like 10 earnings has always been negative. So they've always struggled, even just going profitable on the EPS or positive number. As far as what they printed the one day after the earnings were announced, you can see right here, all red for 4 back-to-back earnings where they announced earnings, and then one day after they were red. I mean, on May 5th, a little bit flat, but definitely they usually get a negative reaction to most of their earnings, especially the most recent 4 that they've done. So if it was up to me, just looking at this, I mean, I'd probably be bearish on AMC, but we'll see. Maybe there's a surprise here. More people going back to the movie theaters or something like that. We'll see what the CEO says and the forward guidance and when the numbers come out. Snow is the one that's on deck. Chris DeBard on YouTube rocking some AMC put spreads with Snowflake. Okay, cool. Yep. I wonder if they're put debit spreads. I think me and Snowflake, that's a member in one of our Discords, by the way, not the stock. I think we were talking about put debit spreads on AMC. Risk reward was really good. That would pay nicely there. You get the bigger return with the debit spreads. I mean, you could still get a solid return with credit spreads, but you'd have to be real aggressive with it. Debit spreads always gonna probably have a better risk reward. But then of course you're paying a debit compared to receiving a credit. So it's just kind of what side you want to be on there. You want to be a seller or a buyer. But I do think the debit spread would be the way to go with AMC, to be honest. Because I mean, compare that to doing naked options. If you just bought some puts or something, then you got to deal with the IV crush. then you got to deal with the overnight theta and all that. So me personally, I'd go the debit spread route. Snowflake getting a negative reaction here. Looks like the data's out. Yeah, it's exactly 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Got this monster red candle here. They're down over 12%. Let's see if this ends up being like some sort of fake out candle. But this is a pretty steep drop. I mean, they're down over $30 now. Looks like I got an old Fibonacci on there from somewhere. Let me just zoom out real quick. Oh yeah, that was back here. Let me delete this. Here we go. Okay, let me go back intraday here. So far, pretty negative reaction. So, and I had mentioned earlier, we did have some people in Discord that were short snow. So far it's looking good for the people that were short. And okay, Snowflake on YouTube here says went 2 weeks out, and so it was a debit spread. Yeah, that's what I remember when we were talking about it the other day. So yes, we'll see how those play out. But you saw the data yourself. The last 4 earnings on AMC, it has not been a positive reaction at all. It's all been negative reaction, dating back to February 28th, 2023. So this is 1 year of data here for 4 earnings announcements. We'll see if, like I said, we'll see if there's a surprise. AMC still kind of in the meme stock world, kind of dying down a little bit. I don't see many apes, chatting online anymore. I mean, they still got a pretty good following though. I just don't like what the CEO has been doing. So anyways, SNOW, the ticker SNOW, down over $40 in after hours, over 18%. So, I mean, I don't, it doesn't look like there's going to be some sort of fake out move or knee jerk reaction here. It's just going to keep going. This is the 3-minute chart. So on the second 3-minute candle, already printed one. Let's go to 5-minute real quick. Yeah. So it's still waiting for the 5-minute candle to finish printing here. But so far, this definitely sellers have got this pinned down. Now it's down over $45. Just down over 20%. Jesus. So congrats to the SNOW, the people that were short on SNOW. I know there were some people in our group earlier today that were short on it. So, and then like I say for the AMC, I like the debit spread idea that our members were talking about earlier. What's up, Nikki? How you doing? Good to see you. Nikki's been with us forever. She's on the staff. She helps welcome new members and just chats with everybody. It's super duper team member. Okay, still watching Snowflake selling off here. No signs of recovering. So these earnings must have been pretty bad. Let me pull up my other screen here and see if we can get some actual data that I can post for everybody. Just give me 1 second. And we'll get some credible sources here to give us some data. Because so far it's pretty bloody. They're down over $50 a share. Okay, Snowflake earnings. Here we go. This is from Unusual Whales, excuse me. So they're pretty credible data here. And let's go here. Okay, so far we got revenue came in at 774 million versus 760 million. So looks like they beat revenue, but there's obviously more to the story here. Very well could be forward guidance. Let me just post this revenue data here for Snowflake. Okay, so revenue 774.70 versus 760. So they beat revenue. Let me see if I can get some more data. Let's see. Okay, give me 1 second. I got a bunch of people on Twitter here that were short. They're all celebrating. Okay, people were yelling out dip buyers at 200, and now it's sitting at 175. Okay. Okay, fourth quarter product revision 738, estimate was 723. Okay, so they this is what happened. They decreased their forward guidance for first quarter. So the previous guidance was 769 million, and they adjusted it down to 745 million. So do the math there. That's they adjusted their guidance down by almost $30 million for Q1. So that's not good at all. Investors never want to see that. Let me type this out. Okay, so they beat revenue, and that's all it takes. We see companies all the time. They beat revenue and even beat the EPS forecasts, and then they adjust their guidance for the next quarter down, or the current quarter down. For the remainder of the current quarter, they'll adjust it downwards, and then you get something like this. Snow here down 24% and after hours. But Snow sees first quarter product revenue 745 million to 750 million. The previous forward guidance was 769 million. So quite a big adjustment to the downside for guidance, and that's why we're seeing this on Snow here. Okay, it's 4:11 p.m. Eastern. AMC is about to report here in about 4 minutes. They report at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be surprised if this goes up. I think we had some pretty diehard AMC people that just like playing the stock for fun, that did go along on it. But then we had some other people do some put debit spreads, which I personally like that play. But we'll see what side wins here. We just got a couple more minutes. But basically, to summarize Snowflake, Snow, the ticker Snow, they beat revenue. Fourth quarter of last year, they beat it. They beat it by like 14 million. But then they revised the forward guidance for Q1 of this year. They revised it down by like 20 to 25 million. So not good. Investors are not taking that favorably at all. And yep, they Snow beat EPS too. Forecast was 0.18 and it came in at 0.35. So classic example, folks. They beat EPS and they beat revenue, and they adjust their guidance down 20 to 30 million, and it tanks. So this is why that a lot of times the revenue, just because they beat revenue and EPS, that's not like a sealed deal there. So very, very interesting. Okay, AMC is about to report here in about 2 more minutes. We'll see if we get a move on that. Like I say, the past 4 earnings on AMC, all negative the next day. Snowflake was got a little bit of mixed bag. The most recent one, they were actually positive. When they reported on November 29th of last year, they were up 7% the next day, but three reds prior to that, and then of course so far they're down quite a bit now. All right, just another couple more minutes, and we'll get some results from AMC. We'll see what's going on there. So, but like I say, congrats. I mean, so far this doesn't look like it's coming back, but I mean, it might retrace a little bit. Probably throw a fib on there. Let's see what it's doing. We'll see if it. I mean, even for a 25% retracement, it needs to get back to 188. And we do see, after a sell-off or a rally, a strong one, 9 times out of 10, what I see is we get that 25% little retrace, and sometimes it rejects from there and keeps going lower or higher. Depends on which side of the trade, or whether it's bullish or bearish. But we got quite a few levels for this to come back for it to even consider thinking about reversing. I mean, got the golden fib here at 209. So, I mean, I wouldn't be convinced that this was going to reverse to the upside and retrace all the selling. I wouldn't be convinced unless we got above 209. So we'll see what happens. But bad forward guidance on SNOW, and investors don't like it one bit. Okay, it's 4:15 p.m. Let me kind of zoom in on AMC because the data should be coming out here. Let me pull up my other screen, and as soon as the data comes out, surprisingly not much volatility on AMC. this guy on Twitter, everybody waiting for the earnings call meeting to start AMC. That's great. All right, so far not much movement on AMC, but again, just to reiterate, the past 4 earnings announcements, the whole 1 year worth of data, it's all been negative reactions one day after the announcement. Okay, still waiting on some AMC data. Here, I'm going to bring this over while I'm, let me minimize that. And we already know negative reaction on SNOW, so I'm not really, like I say, there's lots of levels for this needs to retrace for me to even consider going long on it, even if it was an after hours trade for SNOW here. 188, 195, 202, 209. That's what I would keep my eye on. Still waiting on price action from AMC. Nothing really happening right now. Let me refresh this here. Okay. Go to latest. Okay, here's 30 seconds ago with Belay, these Twitter verified here, but EPS of negative 0.54, which beat the expectations of negative 0.65. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. They beat the forecast, but still very much a negative EPS there. They beat revenue as well. Revenue of 1.1 billion, beating expectations of 1.05 billion. So another one, beat EPS and revenue, getting a negative reaction. That they must have adjusted their guidance. So I'll keep my eye out for what the guidance was adjusted to. But let me just paste this in the YouTube so y'all can see it. Okay, let me show that. There we go. So they beat EPS and they beat revenue, but we're getting a negative reaction. So same MO as SNOW. Same thing going on with SNOW. Sorry about that. Got an email here. Okay. So yep, SNOW doesn't look like there's many buyers interested in buying this dip up. Sitting down here at 178, down 22% in after hours. AMC so far negative reaction. No, we already have. There's 3 pieces of data we need. It's the EPS, and it's the revenue, and then it's the guidance. We already have 2 pieces of data from AMC. They beat EPS and beat revenue. What's the third piece? It's the forward guidance. So we already know that they're adjusting their guidance downwards, either the full year or the remainder of this quarter. But I'm going to keep, let me see if there's anything else about the guidance here. Okay, AMC earnings. This is from Alpha Sense. They're pretty reputable. So we just kind of read this here. Snow still hanging out down there. No sign of recovery on Snow. So I'd say it's probably safe to say congrats to the Bears on Snow. If this was reversing, it might have done it already by now. Usually we get that knee-jerk price movement, but we'll see. Still a little bit of time for the earnings data to get digested by everyone. But so far, congrats to the Bears on Snow. For AMC, okay, total revenue grew 23% to 4,812.6 million. Compared to 3.9 billion basically for 2022. Okay, so they're putting out 2022 numbers here. Net loss improved. Yeah, so this is probably stuff from the CEO trying to make things sound like everything's hunky-dory. Net loss improved to 577 million to 396 million. So he's trying to make it sound positive by saying that it improved, but they still lost a ton of money. It's still a huge loss. So I can kind of see they're kind of sugarcoating this a little bit. I mean, overall, still bad numbers. Yeah, they beat forecasts, so woohoo! Here's a cookie. But it's like it's still very, very horrible financial data, in my opinion. Okay, getting some movement now. Sellers are taking over on AMC here. I'm just trying to the CEO say Adam Aaron. Oh yeah, this guy Adam Aaron. AMC reported strong results for both the fourth quarter and full year of 2023, once again exceeding Wall Street consensus expectations. So he's trying to ride the pony of we beat the forecast. That's what he's banking on is we beat the forecast. But the problem with that is the forecast, just looking at the forecast as a mathematical number is horrible. Like it's still like a negative number and they're still burning tons of cash. And so I think he's just kind of sugarcoating things that the losses have improved is basically what he's saying. But this is not a company I would be long-term on at all. We'd made a lot of money on it, day trading it in the group. Made tons of money day trading at AMC. But this would never go in my Vanguard, my bigger Vanguard account. I would never buy AMC in there. But yep, so far pretty negative reaction on AMC. So one of our members in the Discord, he goes by Snowflake. Kind of funny because that's one of the other earnings we were talking about. But Snowflake had put debit spreads on AMC. So it looks like if this continues downward here, looks like those are going to pay pretty good for you. So congrats on that. Looking very positive there. Snow down here at the bottom still. I mean, it hasn't even retraced 25% yet. Usually you get those pretty quickly. And then it either rejects and makes another lower low in after hours or it moves higher to the next level. And, we get up here to the golden fib and break that, then maybe the bulls have a chance. But until any of those things happen, I'm not convinced that this is going to be clawing back this selling right here. AMC kind of sold off, kind of just bouncing around a little bit down here. A couple wicks. We could probably do the same thing on this. Just kind of keep your eye on the 25%. And of course, the golden fib on AMC would be right around 456. So AMC's trying to retrace here. If it doesn't break 61% retrace, then if it did break that, you might be able to scalp this in after hours, maybe back up to 480s. Could probably get I don't know, maybe 8 to 10% on a quick equity trade. It's above the golden fib now. So it was trying to retrace back up there. I mean, it's AMC showing more promise of reversing than Snow is. we'll see what happens with AMC in the next couple of minutes here. I actually got to take off in about 5 minutes. It's my sister's birthday party. We're going to go to dinner with the family. They all want to go to Dave and Buster's, so we're going to go check that out. Okay, so just to kind of summarize, SNOW, they reported at 4:05 p.m. Eastern, and they beat revenue and beat EPS, but the company reduced the remainder of the Q1 guidance, and the more data will come out. They probably adjusted the full year out too, because if they adjust one quarter, the full year outlook's going to adjust down as well. So that's what happened with SNOW. Investors did not like to hear that at all, even though they beat EPS and revenue. So that's bad news for SNOW investors if you were long on it. But if you were short on it, which I know some people in the group were, congrats to the play there. AMC, it got above the 61% briefly and fell back below it. So let's see if it can get back above there and try and get back up to the 480s here. But it's sitting right now in after hours at $4.50, down about 50 cents a share, almost 10%. But these are the levels you want to keep in mind on AMC. So gotta get break and hold above 450, the mid 450s. It's like 455, 456. Get above there and hold. And then we want to see a break of 470, and then of course back to the beginning at 485, and then maybe this starts going. But I honestly don't see this happening, just based off of the price action from the last earnings that we've seen on AMC. I think it might make an attempt, and then it could go lower. It's just kind of my opinion. I've been wrong before, but I'm not really an AMC fan as far as how they manage the company and their fundamentals and financials. It's something I would never touch. But like I say, we've made some good money day trading the volatility. That's always definitely okay to do for me. Okay, I'll give it another couple minutes to see if AMC tries to make that move back to the 480s. SNOW kind of dying out here. Wick down to 173.60 from 232, basically 232. So basically a $50, almost $60 was the low. And trying to recover a little bit right now. Still down $50 for sure. And we got AMC. This orange line here is the VWAP. Some people don't really care for VWAP in after hours. I usually leave it on there if the volume is there. So looks like it's kind of struggling with that level right now. The VWAP kind of lining up with the golden fib here, is kind of seeing if the which side's going to beat out here. Is it the buyers or the sellers? We'll see. But I mean, put things in perspective. AMC did beat EPS and they did beat revenue, even though it was still a very negative number. And I haven't seen any of the forward guidance yet for AMC, so maybe the CEO put out some good forward guidance, and that's why it's retracing here. I bet my bottom dollar that's probably what happens. SNOW, I just don't think there's a hope for SNOW in the short term. Yes, they beat EPS and revenue, but that forward guidance adjustment to the downside killed them. Down over 20%. Okay, on that note, I do got to get out of here, but I had a lot of fun streaming with y'all. I try and do this every week on Wednesdays, and if you're interested in joining our Discord group, check out the link in the description. It's free to join. Come hang out with us. All we do is chat stocks and options all day, and we have tons of trades that we do every day. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night, and I'll see everybody later. Cheers.